Greetings there. It's time for virtual tip of the day for virtual treatment. Today I'm going to talk about Zoom room security. Some of you have been hearing or reading some of the newscasts that are talking about how people are Zoom booming. They're leaping into Zoom meetings and they are putting up profanity or trying to hijack it. Unfortunately, with everybody being put into some kind of stay-at-home order. A lot of people have a lot of time to just create mischief, and there will always be hackers. So haters will hate, hate, hate. Hackers will hack, hack, hack. So here's some things today that you can do to create a little more Zoom security. While the Zoom platform is working on their end to prevent people from being able to sneak in, there's some basic things that can make a big difference. I've discovered a lot of by doing a little bit of research, a lot of the Zoom hacks are things that we can do to avoid. So let's talk about some of those real quickly, and you can easily start implementing some of these protections. Number one, do not post the meeting link in a public forum. People have been posting their link on Facebook, and people have been searching for those and picking them up. If you're going to post a link on Facebook, it should be in a private group where those things can't be shared. The best thing for you to do is put that link in an email and send that link in an email or a text message. This reduces hackability tremendously. All right. Number two, you can add a password for your room, especially if you're using your personal room that Zoom identifies for you. So it's the same number over and over again. I particularly like that because that helps people be able to get back on quickly. They can refer to an old text or an old email. So it's just an ease of use rather than setting up a new room number every single time. So I have my Zoom set in the settings that when I automatically schedule the meeting, it goes to my Zoom room, private Zoom room number. Well, that private Zoom room number can be out there for a long period of time, so people could sneak in. So the way to prevent that from sneaking is to have a password and to change that password periodically. So keep the password short. I think Zoom does have, I think it's 30-character limit, but I would even make it shorter. So when you send out the invitation, it'll also send out the password with it, or you can just do double duty. And when you send the email or the text saying, here's the password. Again, keep that password simple so people can easily access your room and your meeting. Third is adjust the general settings. If you go into your general settings, you'll discover in Zoom that there's a lot of things that are defaulted to. For example, most people, when you default to screen sharing, everyone can share their screen. You can adjust that to say that only the host can share their screen, or there's also a default that everyone can file share. You can uncheck that so file sharing will not be enabled. That doesn't mean while you're in the middle of the group, you can't allow someone to share. What will happen, for example, if it's host only, is someone will want to share their screen and it will send a request to the host and say, so-and-so would like to share the screen. Do you want to give them permission? So you have control. So look through all your general settings and move those general settings to one where the host has a greater sense of control. In fact, I'll put in the link in the notes below this video, a link to a best practices article that can help you make some of those adjustments piece by piece. Another thing is use a waiting room. Man, these are great. So as people come in, they don't come into your meeting, they come into a waiting room, and then you allow them in one by one. As they are screened by you, basically you find out if they're really supposed to be there. This is important for especially large groups, maybe, but because remember, Zoom can have up to 100 people in a meeting. In your smaller groups, you kind of would know, is that one of your clients? Is that one of your students? Or is that someone that's supposed to be in the group? And you could use that waiting room. You just have to remember to watch the waiting room and be able to utilize it. And then the last tip I would give you is lock the meeting once everyone has arrived. You have the capacity, once you know everyone's there, to lock the meeting and no one else can enter in. This is great if you're doing one-on-ones. Once they're there, lock them. lock the meeting. No one can enter after that. Here is 5 simple tips to make your Zoom room less vulnerable to any kind of hacking and maintain the privacy that is essential for what we're doing. All right, do a great job.